everybody, this is Skeet.
Josh and Mikey over here.
Rock and Roll Roundtable.
Yeah, once again presented by our good friends at Moshman Media.
This week, Guilty Pleasures Trade-Off.
Combination episode. Yeah, combination of a couple things we've done in the past. We've done trade-offs, I think, 2 or 3 times. We did like different trade-offs where we unknown artist or maybe barely known artist, and we pick a couple albums. The other co-host listens to it, and you discuss it. Well, this one's a little twist. Is the guilty pleasures, and we did an episode of this. I think season 1, maybe. It's been a while, and it's like stuff that people might not assume we really like, but we do. And I get teased about some of mine I have in the past. It's okay. I'm all right with that. But this time I said, it'd be a good idea. Just combine them. I'm going to give you like a couple of my guilty pleasure albums, and you give me a couple guilty pleasures of yours, and we'll trade it off that way. So that's where we're at today. We're going to do, we both had the week or so to listen to the music that was given, and we're going to come to a discussion about whether we liked it, hated it, mediocre, what we think of it, and why is it a guilty pleasure, and all that good stuff. So if you want to start it out, you can start it out on your end.
Okay. I was given Maroon 5, Songs About Jane.
Ah, yes, the debut. That's my favorite. Still my favorite Maroon 5. So I gave you what I thought was the creme de la creme of.
No. I like this album. I did, and I'm gonna just say the hits, Harder to Breathe, This Love, She Will Be Loved. Am I missing any of the big hits?
Sunday Morning.
I liked all of it. I think the ones that I like, Shiver. I really like Shiver. Tangled was pretty good. And I think those were like the biggest ones that kind of stood out that was not a hit from Maroon 5 for me.
I could see that. Yeah.
So those were the two big songs that stood out as, I like that. Why wasn't that a hit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the other ones were good. The other songs were good, but those were the ones that kind of stood out for me. So it's a solid album. I'm impressed that is one of your guilty pleasures.
Yeah. The thing about Maroon 5 and people just make it, I think they call it my guilty pleasure if people that really know me know I like Maroon 5. Yeah, always have. But, other than Harder to Breathe, you might hear Harder to Breathe get played as a cover band. You might hear somebody cover that. I actually have heard a couple people cover that. But a lot of it's just Adam's voice for me. Adam's voice and the overall kind of musicianship. It's not heavy by any means, but I don't think it's really light. I think there's some songs, of course they are. They're ballady type. Sunday Morning and She Will Be Loved. But Harder to Breathe's got some kick to it. It's not like blowing you out of the water.
No.
But, he even drops the F-bomb in that. It's like, yeah. But for a pop band, they're pretty strong representation of, like, pop. They're not like bubblegum pop. They're like pop leaning towards rock at times. Or even soulful. He's got a soulful kind of voice, and they do like R&B mixed with pop kind of.
Well, and they kind of changed some of the songs up in there. I was expecting a lot of cookie cutter type songs, but they actually did some interesting stuff with the music. So that was a nice surprise.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like one genre all the way through. They actually kind of did some different stuff in the song. So that was like I said, it was a pleasant surprise. Now, am I going to sit around and listen to it all the time? No, but I'll add this in
yeah,
and listen to it every once in a while when
yeah.
I'm in
It's
that
the same
mood.
with me. It's the same with me. I don't sit and listen to Maroon 5 on a bi-weekly basis even, but I won't turn it off if it comes on the radio for sure. And there's times where I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired. It's a like a nice morning at the river. I do a lot of times. I put that album on. It's just like it's not yacht rock, but it's not going to blow my head off at 7 in the morning either. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, just ease into the day, kind of a good mood music kind of thing. So yeah, that's cool that you dug the old Maroon 5, which I get a lot of grief about. I don't care. I like what I like. So I don't know. You call that a B probably, or
Oh,
overall?
I'd give it a B plus, A minus. It was actually,
Ah,
like I said,
sweet.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
Dang. Well, that's good. I'm glad you expanded your horizon a little bit and got into
Yeah,
the world, the
that's a
world of
good thing
Maroon
for
5.
these episodes that you're going to hear some stuff and go, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have a couple hits on every album, but yeah, mostly the hits. You're right. I think they're pretty good at picking, or their record company or whatever picks the songs they should have picked to
Yeah,
get them out there, and they usually do really well. Couple songs on every album. So
the hits were definitely the strongest songs on the album. I will say. So yes, I agree
yeah,
100%.
yeah, very cool. Very. All right, so we'll swing over to my first one that I got was something I knew and I haven't heard it probably all the way through in I don't know 25 years probably. I mean, it's been a while since I heard the whole album. But it's Alanis Morissette, and the album was Jagged Little Pill, which is her launching pad, if you will, to success. And so I knew a few of the songs, and I'd heard the other ones, but not, like I said, in decades. I hadn't really sat down. There's a couple on this album that are duds to me, and that's it. I mean, there's a couple that are, I would say, meh. You know, not below a 5 or anything, but like middle of the road, okay songs. It starts out with that for me. Like, all I really want is not one of my favorites on the album.
Okay.
Right, I think right through you. I think that's what. Yeah, right through you. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but most everything else is pretty damn good. I mean, everybody knows you ought to know. And the only thing that discouraged me about you ought to know is finding out later that it was written for fucking Uncle Joey on Full House. I just Alanis. I find Alanis Morissette very attractive. I'll put that out there. It's nothing to do with her vocal, but I'm just saying as a person to see her with Joey, Dave Coulier, whatever his name was, it was hard to picture. Ryan Reynolds, I understand. Okay, Ryan Reynolds is a popular, very good looking, considered kind of guy. I can understand that one, but yeah, Uncle Joey, I struggled with that. But the song itself is still very reminding me of, she's like the original Lizzie Hale, if you want to get that way. Just telling a story from her perspective. I don't care how I say it. She drops the F bomb as well, which it's taboo to a lot of people. And of course they bleep it out, but on radio, but that's fine. At least you kept it in the song. You kept your integrity to keep it in the original song. That's a big deal in today's age, really is. Even though this is 30 years old. Perfect. I like Perfect a lot. I thought Perfect was one of the better songs. It didn't get a lot of attention, but
Okay.
it's a deep song. I mean, it is really
Lyrically.
like a lyrically
Lyrically,
deep
yes.
song. Yeah.
It is.
So yeah, that was one of I really liked. Hand in My Pocket, another hit. I mean, it wasn't my favorite hit, but it's up there on this album. It was definitely one of my favorites. Um, Forgiven was a good song. It wasn't bad. You Learn, it's one of my favorites. You Learn is one of my favorites, and it's got just kind of the you live, you learn. That kind of area was my
Yeah.
favorite part. And she does do a high end note on that one that's pretty impressive at the end of that. So, but my favorite on the album, and probably favorite, well, not favorite overall, but favorite on this album's Head Over Feet for me. I don't know why. I just thought that song was the best. Uh, it had melody, it had a story behind it, and it was just the catchiest one for me. And Mary Jane, I didn't. It was okay. It was a filler, but it's still good. And of course, Ironic. That's got the belting out. She belts some stuff out in that, but the whole story is the funny part of it.
Yeah.
The whole storyline. Well, the plane goes down. Isn't this nice? It's kind of like
Yeah.
her sarcastic kind of attitude was kind of shining through on that. So I like that one. This I don't remember if this was on the original or not, called "Not the Doctor." I can't even remember that song, and it was okay, but I don't know why I don't remember it. And it was like I didn't mean to hit that, but and a Wake Up. Wake Up was, yeah, I mean they were okay, but the hits again, like the Maroon Five for you, the hits were the bomb. Perfect was my favorite song lyrically, I think, on the whole thing, just because it was so personal and deep. But Head Over Feet, man, was just that's my favorite on this album. My all time favorites are basically Thank You and Uninvited. I mean, Uninvited's probably it for me. It's probably my all time favorite Atlantis song that's not on the album.
Yeah.
But Thank You was another one I really liked too, and I think it was on the second album as well. But a solid album. I mean, you got real high praise. It deserved real high praise. 30 years later, it still sounds like something that would sell well today in the pop rock world.
Yeah.
Alanis busted through in that time frame. I still love her unplugged. Her unplugged performance was great when I saw that. But this album in particular, oh, it's a solid B plus. It's a B plus A minus kind of
Awesome.
area. So yeah, it was fun to listen to it again. So yeah, it's nice.
Yep. Pretty much I picked up on her out on this album when it came out, 95 when it came
Yeah,
out.
35.
And I fucking adored her voice. She was very, very attractive, but not knockout
Right.
attractive. So I was
She's like,
like, yeah, I
well,
was I
that's
was smitten. I was very smitten with
yeah,
her as an artist, going, wow, she's kind of got, and just her voice and the way she sang. But during that time, there were also a lot of other artists that kind of had that same vocal style. If you remember,
okay.
like uh,
Like
Dolores
Pink.
Dolores
Who?
O'Riordan,
Oh, the Cranberries. Yeah,
where they had that kind of that style where they lifted their voice in spots.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
did notice around that time there were a lot of artists that was doing that, and it was kind of a trend there for a little while. So I thought that was interesting, and that kind
Yeah.
of so her vocal, the way she would sing stuff was just like, so that was my guilty pleasure. It's like, yeah, I really like this stuff, and pretty much you nailed it on all the songs. There was a couple that I look at the title and it's like I can't remember the song.
Right. I didn't either. I
I,
didn't even know if it was on the original because
but
you never know with streaming.
but this was also an album that I listened to all the way through. I would put it in and just listen to all of it, and from song to song, they were good songs. So I'm impressed you gave it the B
Yeah,
plus
the
to
B
an A.
plus. And the only reason it wouldn't be like an A, strong A for me, is going back and listening to her. She's got a little bit of a vocal fry on the end sometimes, like just holds it out a little bit.
Yeah,
And I usually never paid attention, but it just caught me this time. I listened to it, I was like, oh, what is that? Then it started it's showing itself more. I'm like, oh man, just a slight irritation. And it's not like, oh, it makes her shit. It makes it unlistenable. It was just something I had really never caught before. So it's
okay,
like, and it's just one of those things. But no, she's like you said, girl next door kind of hotness, a strong voice, very strong voice. And this album was it was like an empowering. It's like, okay, here's this young buck girl from Canada that's just gonna let it loose. And the second song's got the F bomb. And it's like, at that time it was like, you're not gonna get on the radio with that, blah blah blah. She did it. She succeeded.
yeah,
I,
she
I I
did.
don't know. I don't really know what happened to her like after like the second or third album. I've never really heard much about it. I don't know if she took some time off, but that would be something that would be interesting to. I would still go see her now just to be able to see her. I've never seen her live, so it would be one of those things I would go check it out. So
Yeah,
30 years later, you can't complain. Somebody's
yeah.
still
She
doing
was
this
she
stuff.
was touring. She was touring some on the 30th anniversary of Jagged Little Pill.
I figured, yeah, I thought I'd
Yeah,
seen something about her out there, but I
yeah.
didn't hear of any new music or anything like that. So,
But still, fantastic fucking artist. Uh,
yep,
the second album, I liked a little bit off the second album, but that first album for me was like, that's it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was beautiful.
It's the best overall album
Yeah.
for sure.
All right, so then we get to Mikey's second guilty pleasure, no doubt,
Hmm.
Tragic Kingdom.
Tragic Kingdom.
I fucking I dug a lot of the album. Of course, the hits, the ones that I've heard through the years, are always going to be the strongest ones from them.
Yep.
Spiderwebs, Just a Girl, uh, Don't Speak are very strong songs. Listen through the rest of the album, there was just a couple songs that were kind of meh,
Yeah.
but weren't bad. And this also was another band that kind of changed shit up a little bit, but still was in that ska rocky feel
Hmm.
through most of the album. So it was cool. I really their drummers pretty fucking good. I like some
Yeah.
of the
Oh, yeah.
fucking stuff he was doing. And so the band, the actual band, no doubt they had some talent. They could change some shit up. I was impressed.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, my favorite song on the album is actually Sunday Morning, which is weird because Maroon 5 had a song called Sunday Morning that I really like too. Must be something about Sunday mornings, easy like Sunday morning, all that good stuff. But the reason that brought me to remember them, I mean, I listen to when I hear it. I'm one of those. I like Gwen Stefani's voice. I always did. But the band was always solid. And I wasn't a big ska guy, but they kind of changed that for me a little bit. It's like they had enough rock element to it to where like, okay, horns with that's pretty cool, or this and that. The reason that really I thought about giving it to you was because I just seen where they're going to play at the Sphere in Las Vegas. They're
Nice.
doing like a comeback thing to play at the Sphere. And when I seen that ad for that, I started getting reels from No Doubt because I sat through the Spear commercial or whatever. So
Yeah.
I started getting all these reels from back when they played all these shows before with the young Gwen and the young guys in the band. And the thing about Tragic Kingdom that I found out after the fact was most of that album was written by Gwen to the bass player who was her ex-boyfriend for a long time.
Okay.
And some of like don't speak was directly to him. That would be weird for me. It's kind of like the old Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks thing. When they had been together and then they split, but they stayed in the band.
Yeah.
And they would have songs like Silver Springs, I think, was one of the songs that Stevie wrote, like directly to Lindsey and would sing it to him. And Gwen did that with Tony, the bass player. Gwen, of course, went on to marry Gavin Rosdale and have kids with him from Bush. Now she's married to Blake Shelton. So she stayed pretty good for herself, even after the breakup. But that whole album was like, man, what a way to find a winning hit album. Just break up with somebody, keep them around. Piss you off enough to write great songs.
Well,
It's kind of weird.
like you said, you had that Fleetwood Mac, and I hear Taylor's got a habit of kind of writing music for old boyfriends, and
Yeah,
Alanis had a song that is kind
yeah,
of so
yeah. You talk
it
about like it's just a muse, like inspiration.
yeah,
Taylor Swift's done it a few times with other
yeah.
people, but even John Mayer wrote a song about Taylor Swift. So Your Body is a Wonderland was written for Taylor after they broke up. John Mayer he went out with her for I don't know how many. So that was interesting little twist to it, just behind the scenes on it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you like. I'm glad you liked the album. It is definitely different listening taste because we don't listen to ska. I don't listen to ska much. I don't think you do. Other than like I used to like the Mighty Mighty Boss
Oh
Tones and
fuck,
shit like
dude!
that.
Mighty Boss Tones were for the fucking shit. Oh wow.
Fishbone. I liked Fishbone when they were out. I mean, there
No,
was
yeah,
some ska stuff, but
well, it's music that you don't listen to all the time, but it's got them hooks and the fucking horns.
yeah,
For me, when you start adding Chicago with the horns,
yeah,
it's just you're like going, this is fucking awesome. But that's just me. There's other music types that I listen to that other people don't. That they've got horns, which is kind of a lead into what you're going to next.
yeah, yeah. But with the horns, just real quick, when you listen to Chicago, it's no way, shape, or form sounds like ska at any time.
No, no,
You know
no,
what I'm
not at
saying?
all.
So it's weird that the horns like that is but just a rock band with like a horn section. But if you take a little reggae, that's basically what ska is to me, reggae with horn section. So if you listen to like a normal reggae band, I'm not a real big fan. I'm like, okay, reggae's got its moments here.
Yeah,
You mix reggae with anything else, it's fantastic to me. You mix it with the horns, you got ska. You mix it with metalcore now that they're doing, and it's fantastic. So reggae's underrated. I think this by itself, it's got its moments, but it was never like on my radar until, oh, it's like peanut butter. I don't eat jelly by itself either, but you mix it with peanut butter, it's fucking awesome. So that's kind of the way I feel about reggae music and with the horns and stuff. So anyway, yeah, we'll go on to the next one because this band, you would hear a lot of horns normally if you listen to the culture of the band anyway. But and I don't want to get in trouble for butchering it, but I'm going to attempt to say it. El Ultimo Cazara. Something like that. Okay. And they're a Spanish punk band. They're also considered rock alternative a little bit. And they are from Spain, validly. And I think it was the last episode I remember saying to the young Skeeter over here, I'm not big on people that don't speak in English when they sing. Yeah. So what's he give me? A non-English speaking band to listen to.
Yes, I
So
did.
they're behind the eight ball a little bit from the get because I don't, it's hard to get my attention when I don't understand what you're saying to me. But it's not impossible. Rammstein has been, my radar for a long time. And I listen to that. I don't understand a word they're saying when they do that. And I do because I took a little bit of German, just a little bit. But so I gave these guys, I said, okay, got the link for the YouTube, is what I originally got it on. And I was listening to it. Music is basic punk. I mean, it's not way too fast and it's not slow. And then there'll be a song that almost reminds me of hair metal. It kind of leans towards hair metal, not like so much the guitar, like the melodic hair metal song, like a ballad. They had their moments in different songs where it was like, okay, it's not pure speed punk, but I listened to the live album after that. I thought that's the best gauge for me because listening to every album, I'm not going to remember the names of the songs for the most part. And I want to get an idea of their whole general
Vibe,
sound over the
right?
course of years, right? So I did listen to a live album from different, and it wasn't like this one show. It was like a bunch of clips from different shows. They sound like they would be fun to go listen to. The crowd was into it, of course, where it was like the European crowds, I think mostly. But dude, I cannot get past the singing. I just can't. I tried to. I tried to be as fair and you know down the line, straightforward with it. But it sounds like my waiter at Chi Chi's, man. I can't get past it. And it's not disrespectful for that. It's what it is. Is that's what I hear when I hear the fast Spanish because it's over my head.
Yeah.
But he's holding out the end. This singer particularly holds out the end of his sentences.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but I'm not. I got
Oh,
to give
that's
an
all right.
example. Hola, Casanega, nah. It is always holding it out like that,
Okay.
like James Hetfield does in English. Yeah, he's holding that
Yeah.
end out. This
Okay.
guy's doing that on a lot of their songs. Not all, of them, but a lot of them, and it's like it repeats itself a lot. He would do it like every line.
Okay.
It's like, okay, that wasn't. I don't know what he's saying, so maybe I'm not getting the gist.
Okay.
So I did go and translate a song of theirs,
Okay.
and I don't know the exact Spanish word for it. I think it was true agua. I think that's how it's true agua or true agua, and because it's one of the songs I did like. I thought it was like, okay, this music's cool. I like the flow of it and everything. When he translated the words, it's like the words did not rhyme at all in English.
That's okay. Yeah.
And
Yes. That's
it's like that's weird because I'm trying to follow them and read the lyrics, and it's like, man, it's like a Tool song, that doesn't rhyme any. They just
yes.
have like a fluent song, but it's like it sounds like he's kind of rhyming in his own language.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah,
That's the language barrier. That's the language barrier.
exactly. And it's like it's no. They've been around since 1987. I mean, I dug into their music a little bit, their past and stuff. The translation was like the last one, or something to do with being last on the list or something as their band name.
Okay.
But I went through and I listened to probably an hour and a half of different songs. Like I said, I really don't want to butcher any of the names because I can't speak the language. But there was some really good songs, and I think I like the melodic more than the faster stuff
Okay.
because he was pronouncing in his language, of course, but pronouncing out everything better. It was like it wasn't just sounding like wah wah, that kind of thing. So Yeah, I preferred the more melodic stuff they did, but no, they weren't bad. I respect them what they're doing, and I don't want to be this asshole basically that says I don't care what country you live in, what language you speak English when you make music. No, no, that's not even it. It's just I'm so used to people seemingly around the world seem to accommodate to the English speaking world.
Yeah.
It's just how it's been on all the different voice and Belgium's Got Talent and stuff. You'll hear a guy singing in perfect English, but when he speaks to the judges, I have no clue what he's saying. And it's like for them to be able to have the talent to mimic everything in English and sing it that well when it's not in their wheelhouse. It'd be like me trying to sing El Ultima Kazara, trying to mimic them in Spanish. Dude, that takes some talent. I'm telling you, that takes some talent. But these guys themselves, why should they conform? Why should they conform? And they should. And they're very popular, and they're a part of the world. They're probably very popular to Spanish speaking people in countries like the United States because they're genuine. They're true
Yeah.
to themselves. And it probably flows a lot better knowing the music, knowing the language. And that's just a given. Even Rammstein always, like for that German, it always seemed to flow really well. But I bet if I translate the lyrics, it might not match up either. I
Yeah.
just never done it. So
Yeah.
it's like this is the first band I took the time to.
Actually, try to translate.
Yeah, they don't look like a what you would consider a punk band here. They just don't look. They don't look the same as what we consider a punk look here, which has varied over the years. There's some people that look like Weezer that play what they play. They don't fit it either.
Yeah.
They fit more
Yeah.
like a nerd music or whatever. So yeah, it was an interesting pick, and not for me per se, but it was still interesting enough. The music was solid. The vocal, I mean, he didn't seem like his voice wasn't cracking, anything like that. So I will go. Surprisingly enough, I'd still give him a B minus, even though I have the language barrier and that's not on them. That's not their fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Music wise, the flow of the songs, the lyrics were a little goofy. But that's punk music, That's part of being
Yeah.
in a punk band. And God knows how old that song was. That could have been like the first album, and they were a bunch of kids back in 1987.
Yeah.
So you just write goofy songs. I'm guilty. I did the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's yeah, respectable. I would say if you're into good music and want to expand your culture a little bit, give them a shot. Check them out, especially if you speak some Spanish. You might be really into it.
Yeah.
And that was the only drawback I had was the language barrier and some of the holding out of the notes. It's like,
Yeah. Well,
okay,
for
I'm not
me,
into what he's saying though. He could have been saying "fuck you," it could have been something like that that I didn't get.
yeah.
But it was like, yeah, it was evident in a few of the songs. But yeah, when it was melodic and he was really pronouncing the words, I thought it was actually more alternative sounding in spots. I thought it was really good. Music,
Okay.
yeah, it's solid. So yeah, B minus, good.
Awesome. Uh, so basically, a really good friend of mine sent me I de Mi was the album from El Ultimo KZR and
Okay.
from 2003. So I went through the whole album because I'd listened to a few songs and I I liked, man, their guitar player he's just a fucking beast. The styles he was playing on this album for sure, because I didn't even go to the live album. I didn't even realize they were still out and about. I thought they were like might have had a couple albums back in the day, but they're still. I think 2023 was their last album they put out.
That surprises like that.
So yeah, I
It
was like
surprises
going,
me.
damn, I'll actually have to deep dive and check out some of their newer stuff to see if it's still the same type of stuff they were doing. And they had a lot of songs that were quick, punky,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's a lot of words that I still haven't figured out in
Yeah.
Spanish. As someone who's trying to learn some Spanish, that it's like, wow, they cruise, man, they cruise through those lyrics so fast, and I'm trying to pick stuff out and I'm like, but the punk, they're a punk band. There was a lot of punk songs where you just go, I like that. Their rhythm section is pretty damn good too. So these guys, you know, for
Yeah,
being
they're solid.
yeah
I
a band from
think they have.
Spain, I'm like, damn, they're good.
I think there's two guitar players in that too. It's not every day for punk. It's kind of like punk always. There's plenty that do have two, but I mean, just it was like okay, I can hear the fullness come through now a little bit when I listening to it. But the weirdest thing about the whole experience for me was just knowing that Mia, when you talking about how fast the words were going, I think back to okay, our punk bands. They fly. There's words.
Yeah,
There's punk bands I know that I can't understand them, and they're in English.
yeah,
So yeah, it's this style there. But I would really like to know more about what he's saying on those melodic songs,
okay.
and if it would translate. So that might be something I end up going and doing, and just say, okay, I like this song, and this song, and then get the translation lyrically because I'm a lyric guy. I like the
Yeah.
lyrics. I like to know what they're about. So no, it wasn't bad. It was better than I thought. I was like, oh my God, you got to be shitting me. And me not being a big fan of Spanish, just because I can't keep up. It seems like it's way too fast. And I'm more of a Russian, German. I like those accents better. That's it. It's not nothing to slight Spanish at all. It's just I think I could comprehend them a little better. They're a little slower. It seems like Spanish is fast. It's like I never hear anybody speaking like slow Spanish. That would be something I guess you would go through the tapes and listen to them. It probably has a reason for it that they don't, like me talking now is what I would need to understand Spanish.
Well,
Like,
to
and me
be
just talking like this, I would sound a million miles an hour in Spanish.
to
And they're
be
saying the same
fair,
thing.
to be fair, there's when you have friends that speak Spanish and they start
Mhm.
introducing you to their culture and their music, you will find other artists that will do like the pop stuff or sing traditional Spanish music or like the mariachi.
See, now I really
I've
dig
become
that.
I've become a big fan of some mariachi, where it's like I love everything that they're doing, and even though I don't understand everything that they're saying, it all fits so well. And there are some Spanish speaking artists that sing a little bit slower that you know but I'm sure the translation, you see the translation, I've seen it where it's translating and it's just so much prettier in their language the way it's coming out
Yeah, yeah.
to
Like
where
I
yes,
remember I don't want to get too much on the language, but like I remember Selena when she was really popular, and she sang in English, but she also sang in Spanish. I think she sang in Spanish a lot more than what you think.
yeah,
And people like that, and this shows multitudes of talent that you can go either way. And
yeah,
it's like I would love to be able to sing in Russian, German, or whatever, and English. Oh hell yeah! So you got to give it up to them. But even bands that are pure to themselves, like this band was, it's still, man, it's solid. And I enjoy a lot of different styles. Mariachi's one of them. I'm a big polka guy, you know that.
Yeah.
But mariachi's another style that do I sit and listen to it on a daily basis? No, but if I'm walking at a festival or somewhere and I hear mariachi, I'm into it. It's along the lines the same way as jazz. I'm not a jazz listener unless it presents itself.
Yeah.
I went to a jazz festival because I wanted to experience that. Man, that's good. So it's like there's so many things that you might not be, and it might be a guilty pleasure that you just don't. I don't listen to No Doubt or Maroon 5 every day. I don't listen to mariachi or polka every day because I like to spread the wealth. I like to
Yeah.
listen to a
Yeah.
lot of things. I don't listen to anybody every day. Not even Ginger. I don't listen to the same thing every day of anybody. So yeah, that's it. If you're into trying new things, go give El Ultima Kazare, however you pronounce it. I don't want to butcher it, but give them a shot. And yeah, it's fun. It is fun to listen to. It's just for this episode in general, I was more trying to give it a rating and all that stuff. Just listening to it, yeah, I can listen to it while I'm sitting there, reading a book or something. Just have it for back. Oh yeah, music wise and everything, nicely produced. That live album was really good produced. So I didn't the album you talked about. I must have got the link. The link went to the YouTube, so I watched the videos of it.
Yeah.
I think there was 10 songs on it. And then I went to the live album. So yeah, either way you go, let's give them a shot. Give Maroon 5 a listen. If you've never heard that album, it could be, oh, they suck. They're Adam Levine. He's a pretty boy. Go listen to songs about James.
Yeah.
Definitely giving some Tragic Kingdom some love. And Atlantis, if you're not of 30 years ago, you didn't get into that stuff and you never really listened to Atlantis Morissette, you might want to pick up Jagged Little Pill and check that out because
Yeah.
it deserves respect, if nothing. It deserves a listen, if nothing else. So that's it. I'm off my soapbox.
Okay. Well, for me, it's just sometimes you need something off of what you normally listen to, and it's a nice break. It is. It's
Yep.
a nice break. So, what other opportunity do you have than to try some different bands or different music to kind of keep your ears fresh, so you're not hearing the same thing all the time? I you know Listen to a little bit of country if you like some country. Listen to
Yeah.
a little bit of
Al-
blues. Not a whole lot of blues for me, but
no, no,
yeah.
no.
But
But
it,
yeah, the point is cleanse your palate once in a while.
yes, yes,
Give yourself give yourself permission to like stuff that you might not think you will.
yeah,
And it's like it's not there's plenty of bands out there that they have a song or two that I like. I won't change the channel. But there's some that I really end up liking a lot. So it's just better off for you. It's not a thing of statue or uh, public persona. This
yeah,
is for you and you only. It can be a guilty pleasure. Not everybody has to know you love the Bee Gees, but man, I fucking do. I ain't
yeah.
afraid to say it. But maybe you don't want to. It's up to you. So yeah, I like guilty pleasure shows, man, and I like trade offs too. So this one we got to combine. It was pretty good time.
Awesome. Well, Mikey, I think we probably ought to wrap it up.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. This is Skeet.
Mosh and Mikey.
See ya.
Peace out.